Hello, class. Welcome back. Last time we have taken a very simple example, and in that example, we have calculated the asset C must have a value of $0.633 currently. Well, there's actually one strange thing in that calculation. The strange thing in that calculation is that in the entire calculation, there's absolutely no mentioning about the probability of the stock going up to 22 or go down to 18. As if there's a high probability of going up to 22 and low probability going down is the same as the case where there's a very low probability going up and a very high probability of going down. Seems a little strange, but somehow we calculate a number without knowing it. So now people will say, well, okay, if really there's a high probability of going up, let's say there's 95% chance in the world for the stock to go up to 22, and it's only 5% chance for the stock to go down to 18. If you look at the expected value, the expected value will be 0.9219, so 92 cents. Why? Because in the up case, the asset C is going to be worth $1. So 95% of $1 is the 0.95, and you discount it back, you'll get 92 cents, right? And so if on the other hand, that the probability of S becoming 22 is only 5%, and there's a very large probability for the stock to drop. And so it's only 5% times $1, and you discount it back. You know, the expected value, if that is the expectation, then the expected value of C is only a little less than 5 cents. So there's a huge difference in the expected value depending on which distribution is the distribution in real world. But in our calculation, however, there's no mentioning about what the probability of something materializing in the real world. And so why does this difference doesn't impact the value of C at all? So this is a little strange, right? Well, suppose, let's say, you know, you think that there's a very high probability of the stock were to go up to 22, and say in the market the price is worth 90 cents. Okay, so what's going to happen? Well, if market is trading asset C at 90 cents, there's actually an arbitrage opportunity here, because you can long delta divided by 4.5 units of shares. So which means you can long 0.055 units of S. And let's say you fund the portfolio by also shorting 0.22 units of C, and you borrow basically 97 cents at risk-free. So what's going to happen? So initially, in this particular portfolio here, your cash flow is what? Your cash flow, you have bought this number of shares, each at $20. So it's going to cost you some money, so it's negative here. and you have borrowed money here. That's why this inflow 0.97. You have shorted this number of C 0.2 unit, and we know that in the market, each unit C is traded at 90 cents. So you would have received 0.9 times 0.22, right? So initial cash flow is something positive. You get 0.59. So it's like you get about 6 cents, okay, in this particular portfolio. So now you look at cash flow at the 3-month point. So if the price of the stock is $22, so you bought 0.055 units of shares. Now it's worth 22. This is how much of the value in the portfolio attributed to stock holdings. And you have shorted 0.22 shares of C, and each of them is worth $1. So you have a negative value of 0.22 here, and you have to pay back what you borrowed. So you have to minus 0.97045. And you have to pay back with an interest. So you then have to multiply e to the power of 0.12 times 0.25. Okay, so this is the so the interest you multiply by this will get you the future value of your initial borrowing here. So if you put everything together, you will see that after you've done everything, your portfolio now is worth 0. So there's no cash flow. You don't have to give anybody anything. If the price of the stock is $18, so in this case, your portfolio is worth, you have $18 times 0.055, and that is the value of the stock in your portfolio. And now, because you shorted 0.22 units of C, but C right now is worth 0, so you don't have to return, the value you shorted. Well, you can return them, but the value is 0. You still have to pay back the loan you borrowed. So this part of the calculation is still the same, 0.97, and then multiply by e to the power of 0.12 times 0.25. And you put everything together, it's 0. 0 means that there's no cash coming into you, there's no cash going out, right? Now, what happened here? Here means that you created an account, and initially in the account, you put in like 6 cents here. And you can take this 6 cents out and do whatever you want. Because 3 months later, there's no liability. Nobody's gonna, this account here is not gonna take any money out to pay anybody. So this 6 cents becomes your free money. So you have spent no money of your own, but you have generated yourself 6 cents through this particular investment strategy here without any future liability. So you have arbitraged by definition. So, you can need 6 cents is a small amount of money, but then you can just do 1,000,000 times of whatever you have here, right? So, 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000 times, you can do as many as multiples as you want and to get a large sum of money. So you basically create some money out of nothing. Okay, so that means there's something wrong with this price because the market cannot sustain something like this, right? Okay, so suppose, okay, so 90 cents high price is not feasible. What if the price is low price? You know, in a situation where people believe that the probability of going down is actually very high. So if the price were to be 20 cents, then again, you can form an arbitrage portfolio. You can generate money out of nothing. So in this case, your strategy would have been you short, it's like reversing that, you short 0.0556 units of stock, and you long 0.22 units of SSC. So in this case, instead of borrowing money, you can lend some money out. So after doing that, you will be left with about 10 cents. Okay, so in that particular account you have here. So if there's no future liability in the account, you can take this money and spend it. Okay, so $20 you short, so that's why you have this much cash in the account, and you bought this much 0.22 shares, 0.22 units of C, so you have to pay 0.2 times this, and then you lend some money out, so you're taking this amount out of your account, but you still left with about 10 cents. Now, 3 months later, if the stock price were to go up to $22, you have $22 where you're short, you have to pay back. So $22 times 0.056 units. So that's how much you owed people. Plus, you've loaned 0.22 units of C, and each is worth $1. So you actually have 0.22 in your account. And because you lend some money, so you're now receiving the value, the future value here, which is 0.97 times e to the power 0.12 times 0.25. If you do the calculation and add them together, again, it gets 0. And if the stock price were to go down to 18, again, you follow that, you get 0 as well. So $18, you have to, of stock, you have 0.056 unit, so you owe this much to people. Your investment on C is now worthless at 0. Whatever you lend out will return back this much to you. So in your account is 0, so you don't owe anybody and nobody's gonna give you anything. But the important thing is you don't owe anybody. And initially, you do have some money in your account. So by doing this, you didn't use any of your own money because you've done by lending or borrowing. So you have generated this much initially, this much positive cash flow in your account without any negative cash flow in the future. So again, you arbitraged, and you can do this, blow this up by 1,000,000 times and 1,000,000,000,000 times. You will generate a huge sum of money without any future liability. So generating a large sum of money, or anything positive, for that matter, without any future liability implies that you arbitrage the market. So we have just demonstrated 2 cases where if the price were to deviate from the initial price that we calculate, 0.63, you actually are able to generate arbitrage opportunity. Now here, I use just 2 examples, but if the number is any other number, you can form very similar strategy by, having different units of long and short of the stock and SSC. Okay, so which means I hope I convinced you that price cannot be different from what we have calculated, because if the price were to be any other number than we calculate, you can always construct some arbitrage portfolio to take advantage of that. Okay, let's stop here, and we will talk about it in the next video.